Hello guys, and today we have here another very awesome video. And today we have here a Monarch deck for fun. I want to start this off by saying nobody's gonna run anything really stupid with this deck because, well, they just don't do that. Nobody's gonna run Exodia with this deck because, like, if anything, they'd run Exodia, but yeah, even then, like, that's cloggy. What is it? Precious Cards from Beyond, yeah, that sometimes doesn't work. A lot, actually. And it can clog. And people won't run Miracle Synchro, they won't run Exchange of the Spirit, because those are crazy. Like, nobody's run the Chicken Game at OTK or FTKs, and that's completely illegal. Nobody's run that. That hasn't won or ICS or anything. So, nobody's gonna run those crazy stuff, and the thing that I have with them is that it depends on getting off the board or getting off your monsters off. So, like, and that can be harder than what you think, because you normal summon this guy, and if he gets stopped, which is easy, Effect Failure, Fiendish Chain, Breakthrough Skill, pretty much anything that can stop him, if they stop him, it's not GG, but you don't have a play. You've wasted your normal summon. I mean, if you supposed to summon them out with EDOs, or if you supposed to summon them out with 1-for-1, it's a lot better, but it's still, you don't have anything, and it's really easy to prevent him. It's really easy to prevent Zaborg, because if you get him to leave the field and you don't get his effect, you don't get to send anything. So it's like not the greatest thing in the world. It's not, and so with like Miracle Synchro Fusion, you're just clogging, because now if you have that card and you have Pandeity and then you have Trade-In and you have Miracle Synchro Fusion, and it's like, oh no, this card's dead. You're having too many cards and you're becoming way too reliant. I mean, even Azneyes said that he has having trouble with his deck, and because he was like, this is, after a lot of testing, this is the best, and it's like, yeah, he's had trouble with this deck, he's played it a while, and so have I, and this is, like, nonetheless, you should run Zaborg, because the combo with Nitis is broken, but don't run Sophia. Like, seriously, Sophia's a level 6, which means, I mean, he didn't run these guys, so if you had these guys, they'd be dead. You'd have to use one of these. It wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world, but it just doesn't, no. She'd just clog. Like, he has too many things that would clog in his deck, and like, you could try maybe teching in one Miracle Synchro Fusion, and then when you have to send 8, you can send one Naturia Beast and one Naturia Barkion, but like, Necros have access to Naturia Exterior, and they don't play it. They can just Kaleidoscope out and summon the level 5 and then Ritual, and then summon out the Kaleidoscope and summon out the level 6, sending a Barkion and a Beast, but they don't play that. They don't play an Exterior, despite the fact that it's really good. So, are running this crazy with the new support? No, it just makes them faster. Like, literally, all it does is make them faster. That's all this support does. The only thing that's really broken is Zaborg, because he, besides this, if he tributes a light monster, you get to choose your opponent's off, which is just sometimes GG at that point, especially if you're facing decks like Tellarknights or whatever. So, pretty much this deck, nobody's going to do anything crazy with, but I will admit that Zaborg is a little bit over the top. But then again, it's just it's like Jhin. It's like how I equate Jhin to Rituals. Jhin to Rituals is that card that makes something really, really bad decent. Jhin makes Rituals decent. Necros were good Rituals besides already, so they were above the decent point, and Necros are above the decent point already. And then with Jhin, they just become over the top. But by banning Jhin, you kill all the rest of Rituals. By getting rid of this support, you kill Tribute Summoning and Monarchs, but more or less, this is the deck that's all about Tribute Summoning. There's only one other deck, and that's Monarch, but not Monarch, Cleaford, and they are Pendulum deck. And this is trying to be just Tribute Summoning. So let's just go in and explain the deck. Erebus, he's definitely a broken card, just because of his effect. Like, it's worded really bad. Once per turn, during either player's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, discard one Monarch spell check card, target Monarch, 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense added to your hand. It says once per turn, but if you can add this card to your hand. So if this card is in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand, and then use it again if it hits the graveyard. So if you have Trade-in your hand, and you draw Trade-in and then Tenacity, you can use Azneyes to get rid of Tenacity and get this and draw more. And you can keep on doing that until you have no more Trade-ins. And so, that's kind of stupid. Caius is awesome. Just get rid of any dark and get rid of it completely. If you tribute a dark monster, you can target 2 cards and banish them. Zaborg, yes, Zaborg. So the combo with him is you want to tribute Idea, but he's not necessary. If he tribute summoned, you can target a monster on the field, destroy it, and if it was a light monster, send monsters from your extra deck to the graveyard. Both players send monsters to the extra deck to the graveyard, equal to the level. So you will send 8 with this card, and your opponent will send 8, just crippling their extra deck, and that is really good. And if you tribute a light monster, you get to choose your opponent's cards, so that way they are completely dead. Azneyes will summon one out from your will summon out a Monarch from your deck, and if it's in your hand, you can tribute summon him during your opponent's turn. Really great combos with Monarchs from 4th. Mobius and Ryza, just running these because again, back row is a pain in this deck actually. Honestly, people will probably start running Breakthrough Skills and Fiendish Chains if this deck comes around, and maybe one more Effect Veilers and stuff. So Mobius doesn't have anything on Effect Veiler, but he's definitely good at getting rid of that back row. So, and then Magi Spectres are also a thing. Like Magi Spectres are really gonna mess with this deck. So you need that Mobius just to get rid of stuff your opponent has. And then Ryza is good by himself. Like, if you can get the Ryza lock on him, which I think is a much better version of this deck. Like Ryza can cripple your opponent severely, but like Ryza, if you can get a Ryza lock on him, which isn't that hard, you summon him, summon Azneyes, and then you use Aerobiss to add him back to your hand. And then it becomes tricky. You really need 2 Ryzas in order to get off the Ryza lock. So maybe bumping him up to 2 would be good if you want to go through that route. But you summon him, then you get rid of him with Azneyes, or you summon another Ryza on top of him, and use Aerobiss effect to add him back to hand. And then you can keep on doing that every single turn. And then you can use this card to always add your Monarch spell trap cards to your deck, so that way you never run out. Eodos. Normal spell summoned, you can get an extra tribute summon. Nothing too broken. If he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to target a monster with 800 and 1000 defense, and special summon it in defense vision. And you cannot spell summon from the extra deck. Idea, if it is normal or special summoned, you can spell summon a monster with 800 or 1000 defense from your deck. And if it is tribute, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Monarch spell track cards, add it to your hand. So great way to cycle your pan deities. So you use him to summon him out, his effect will trigger to give you an extra normal summon, and then you can tribute summon any of these guys. Problem is, if he is stopped, it kind of sucks. Like if you use his effect to summon him out, if you special summon Idea, then it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Because then if they stop it, it's like, okay, that's cool. But if you normal summon, then you're screwed. 1/4 to summon out Idea. Reject key 3 pan deity, discard a Monarch spell trap card to draw 2 cards. If this card is in your graveyard once per turn, you can banish it to reveal 3, and your opponent chooses 1 and adds that to your hand. You can use this effect to draw as many times. You can only use the effect to search once. Tenacity, reveal a Monarch and pretty much add any Monarch spell trap card from your hand. Trade-in, we have 3 trade-ins and 3, 6, 8 targets, so we have a little bit more than 2 for each, closer to 3 upstarts, 2 MSTs just for back row. You could run Lance if you want, might not be the worst thing in the world, but MST is definitely a thing. It's just good because you can't Lance warning, so MST. Monarchs from 4th, tribute your opponent's monsters. Game. I love this card, it's awesome. And like people, like this is another thing that makes me really angry. Why do people get, like people don't understand that you don't take damage if you have less life points. Like how many times do I see people attack me when I have less life points? And I'm just like, cool. Like, you should have destroyed Chicken Game if you wanted to attack. And then they activate Chicken Game to draw, and it's like, you're gonna be upset. if it's like honestly in your best bet to just destroy chicken game, because otherwise I'm just gonna go plus off of it, and the person that runs chicken game always has the advantage because I don't have to pay 1,000 to destroy this, especially if I'm running MST or Azneyes, which is very specific for this deck. But just running chicken game and I join into another chicken game, oh, let me set this one on top of it to get rid of it, so that way both players take damage now. And more than likely, the player that owns chicken game is going to have less life points, especially if they're smart and run upstart, as they should, so that way they can manipulate life way more easier. And then, of course, the original Monarch, 2 original Monarch, target 2 Monarch spell trap cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into deck, draw 1. If this card's in your graveyard, you can banish 1 Monarch spell trap card to summon it out in defense position. And it is a light level 5 monster, which is really good, because if you don't want to destroy as a board, you can destroy this card and send 5 monsters from your extra deck to your graveyard, and your opponent will send 5 monsters to the extra deck. Or you could tribute it off, so that way you can choose what cards your opponent gets rid of. And that shall be it for the main deck. Pretty much this is where the monsters that you're going to attack with are, but this is where the combos come from. Azneyes, if it is sent to the graveyard, you can pop 1 card on the field. You will be sending 3, and then 3 Omega. Omega will let you add any card in your graveyard to your deck, and he will go back to your extra deck. There's also Zeta. I don't think anybody plays Zeta. I need to check his effect, because I thought one of the side frames added to hand, but I think Zeta only adds side frame monsters to hand. So he's just great. You send these guys and they cycle them out, so you can get the Tis off multiple times. Just rank 8s, only rank 8s, no rank 6s, because I doubt you're gonna get both of these guys out. But it is possible to make a rank 8, because you can summon this guy and then summon out another Monarch, and then special summon him. But that can be pretty tricky, because more than likely you're gonna activate some Monarch spell trap card from your at one point, especially if you activate this. So I don't think, yeah, this is the only one that prevents you from special summon from your extra deck. I believe this guy says something. Yeah, you cannot special summon. So if you use Edios or Monarchs from 4th, you cannot XZ summon, but it's not the most important thing. The only thing is Felgrand is probably the best rank 8, and it's just he has a coach Giga Trainer, Giant Trainer, whatever his face, is really good if you're running the Exodia build, because then you can draw 3 cards. And then a whole bunch of random fusion monsters that you can put in your extra deck to send to the graveyard for the board. So, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. This deck is not crazy. This is probably the build that more people run. I don't know necessarily about chicken game or stuff like that, but you'll probably see builds more like this, because people aren't going to run the radical stuff, because people tend to be a little bit more moderate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.